long ago in the southern valleys of Valdoria, a kingdom nestled between the rolling hills of Italy and the sparkling coasts of France. Jasmine flowers bloomed in endless white fields. Their fragrance drifted through the streets of the capital city Bedtime, making the kingdom famous across Europe. On a soft spring morning, a baby girl was born in the royal palace. The moment she laughed, tiny white jasmine petals fluttered into the air like snow. The royal advisors gasped. "She carries the blessing of the bloom," they declared. She was named Princess Isabella Laurent, but the people lovingly called her the Jasmine Princess. Princess Isabella grew into a kind and radiant young girl. She visited the markets of Bedtime, helped farmers in the countryside near Florence, and listened to fishermen along the Mediterranean shore. Whenever she laughed, jasmine petals drifted gently around her. The people adored her. But happiness shifted when Queen Elena Laurent, Isabella's gentle mother, passed away after a long illness. The palace felt colder without her warmth. King Adrian Laurent, heartbroken and lonely, eventually remarried a noblewoman from Vienna, Lady Catherine von Habsburg. She brought her daughter, Victoria von Habsburg, to the palace. Victoria was elegant and ambitious. At first, she tried to befriend Isabella, but everywhere they went, the people praised only the Jasmine Princess. Jealousy quietly took root in Victoria's heart. Years passed, and Isabella grew into a graceful young woman. Her laughter still brought jasmine petals, though she had become more thoughtful and calm. Then tragedy struck again. King Adrian fell ill during a harsh winter. Despite the best physicians from Paris and Munich, he passed away, leaving Isabella without protection. Before his death, the king reminded Isabella of her childhood engagement to Prince Alexander Beaumont of Lysoria, a neighboring kingdom in the north. Prince Alexander soon arrived at Bedtime, confident and ready to fulfill his promise. Victoria saw danger in this. If Isabella married Alexander, she would forever remain in her shadow. Victoria secretly approached the royal advisor, Lord Sebastian Moreau, a man hungry for power. Together, they formed a cruel plan. One evening, Lord Sebastian invited Princess Isabella to the palace library under the excuse of discussing state matters. Victoria arranged for Prince Alexander to witness what appeared to be an intimate and improper scene. As Alexander entered, he saw Sebastian holding Isabella's hands in a staged moment. Victoria cried dramatically, "How could you betray your kingdom?" Isabella tried to explain, but doubt clouded Alexander's heart. Hurt and confused, he failed to fully investigate. Under Victoria's influence, Isabella was declared unfit to rule and was exiled to a remote stone fortress high in the Swiss Alps. The fortress overlooked icy peaks and deep forests. Snow covered its towers most of the year. Isabella sat alone in a small chamber, her jasmine laughter silent for the first time in her life. Meanwhile, Victoria took control of Bedtime. But under her leadership, the kingdom began to suffer. Crops failed, trade slowed, the once fragrant jasmine fields began to dry. The people whispered that the kingdom's blessing had vanished. In a quiet forest village near the Alps lived a humble woodcutter named Luca Romano. One evening, while delivering timber near the fortress gates, he heard a soft voice singing in the cold wind. The melody was gentle and filled with sorrow. Curious, Luca discovered Isabella imprisoned behind iron bars. He did not see a fallen princess, he saw a lonely soul. Over many days, Luca secretly brought her food, warm blankets, and hope. He listened to her story and believed her without hesitation. "You speak with honesty," Luca said, "and honesty does not need proof." Eventually, Luca helped Isabella escape. Instead of returning to the palace immediately, she stayed in Luca's small wooden cottage in the forest. For the first time, Isabella lived simply cooking over a small fire, helping villagers and walking freely beneath the sky. One evening, Luca made her laugh, and jasmine petals gently filled the cottage once again. Back in Bellemare, Lord Sebastian grew restless with guilt. Fear of exposure consumed him. Finally, he confessed everything to Prince Alexander. Shocked by his mistake, Alexander realized he had allowed doubt to overpower trust. He immediately confronted Victoria. Stripped of her authority, she was exiled to the very fortress where Isabella had suffered. Prince Alexander searched across villages and forests until he found Isabella in Luca's cottage. He knelt before her. "Forgive me. Return to the palace. Be my queen." Isabella looked at him calmly. "When I was accused, you doubted me," she said gently. But she glanced at Luca. "Believed me when I had nothing." Luca had no crown, no army, no palace, but he had unwavering trust. Isabella understood then that love is not built on royal promises, is built on loyalty during hardship. She chose Luca Romano. Isabella returned to Bellemare as a bride to Prince Alexander, but as the rightful ruler chosen by her people. Luca stood beside her not as a servant, but as her equal. Under her leadership, jasmine fields bloomed once more. The fragrance returned to Valdoria, stronger than ever, and whenever Princess Isabella laughed, jasmine petals danced through the air, minding the kingdom that trust is stronger than doubt, kindness is greater than power, and true love stands firm in the darkest winters. Moral of the story: love is built on trust and loyalty, not status or appearance. And a true heart shines brighter than any crown.
If you enjoyed this story, make sure to subscribe so you don't miss the next one.